Hey everybody, and welcome back to Morrowind, with Indrela and Elvain. Where last we left off, goodness gravy, it has been a little bit. It's been approximately 4 months since last I uploaded Morrowind, but that's over now. We're back. Allegedly. We'll see. What are we doing? Well, I did some off-camera vendoring, and we have done... Last time, we went to the mines. Yes, we went to the mines. And we did that quest for Adis, and then she gave us a quest to get a codebook, and then we went to... what's it called? The, the Dwemer Ruins, Lucaius Cascades, and I believe that it's time to go talk to him, though I could be showing my ignorance as to my own amount of progress, in that I actually don't know if this is what we need to be doing right now, but it's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to do it. And we're going to hope that it's the right thing to do. Caius! Hello. Are you here to discuss your orders, Indrela, or is there something else you want? These notes are from Hasfat and Tobolus? Excellent. I trust he didn't work you too hard for them. I'll look them over in detail later, but now I have new orders for you. I've glanced at Hasfat's notes. They cover the 6th house admirably, but not the Nerevarine cult. Hop on over to the Balmora Mages Guild. It's right next to the Fighters Guild. Get Shan Gramosgob to tell you what she knows about the Nerevarine. She'll have some silly errand for you. Do what she asks, and report back when she's given you the information.
Well, hello there. A pleasure to meet you.
I'm going to assume that because of the skooma, he doesn't remember me. Alright. Let's get on over to the Mages Guild. But yes, it is nice to be back in Vardenfell, especially after so long away and after playing Skyrim so much. I had hoped to do more Morrowind. It's a bit of an unfortunate circumstance the past few episodes of Morrowind in how far apart they've been. It's not because I don't like playing Morrowind. As a matter of fact, I enjoy it a great deal, but it's mostly just been that, well, Skyrim is the series that I've been focusing on more, and this is a little bit of a... Oh, excuse me. A little bit of a secondary project, shall we say, and I just couldn't get around to it. But here we are. Here we are. Yes. Hello, Ranis. I remember your name. Of course I do. How could I not? But we're back now. In all its beautiful OpenMW shader glory. I forgot how nicely I had set up the save. It's actually nicer than my old one that I had been playing on before I started doing this Let's Play. Sharn!
Show only victory, friend.
Thank you. No interruptions. How many times? Oh, you are one of Caius's associates. That is a different matter. Caius and I have a very satisfactory arrangement, and I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement. If you will complete a little errand for me. The errand, then, is very simple. I need the skull of Levule Andrano. You'll find it in the Andrano ancestral tomb, naturally, but take care not to upset the natives. The Dunmer have some peculiar primitive prejudices against necromancy and take grave objection to unauthorized tomb visits. Well, we have our mission. Go to Andrano ancestral tomb.
Interesting. A tourist.
I'm not a tourist. Thank you very much. Go to the Andrano ancestral tomb, get a skull, no problem. Ajira, what's going on? Ajira needs your help very badly. Galbadia stole Ajira's reports on the properties of local mushrooms and flowers. Ajira knows Galbadia did not leave the Mages Guild. The reports must be nearby. I had just come here to vendor some stuff, but alright, I'll help you find your things. Thankfully I know where they are because I've played this game before. one is here. There we go. And then the other one is the one I don't remember. I just remember that one because it's in a nifty little hidey hole under the wardrobe, but I don't know where the other one is. Uh-oh. It'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll just go up here and oh, there it is. Hello? On your time, Morrowind. Thank you. Lovely. Got a little sidetracked there. got a wee bit sidetracked because of Azura. I genuinely forgot that was the part of the quest that we were on. I had come down here to ask her if she had any chores, but nope. Azura? Has Indrela found Azura's stolen reports? Yes. Yes, these are the reports Azura needs. Azura thanks you. Azura is your friend always. Azura worked very hard on these potions for you. And she gives us a whole bunch of stuff. Any duties? Azura knows many secrets, but they are not yet for friend Indrela. Speak with Azura again when you are a warlock.
Warmly greeted, friend. Welcome.
Alright, so that's us done. And it's time, I think, for us to be on our way. We might see if we can get a promotion before we leave. Why not? It's not like we've leveled up at all, and that's intentional because we're trying to min-max it a little bit. I remember that's what I wanted to do. But Shale, it's boring if you min-max. It's fun for me. Alright? It's fun for me. Duties? Associate, you may be ready for advancement. I'm the apprentice. I'm the journeyman. Duties? Convince the next Telvanni to join us. While you're there, you can collect Manway's guild dues. The Telvanni's name is Larar Beraloth. He's in Sulipund. You can't convince him to join. Kill him. While you're there, collect the guild dues from Manway. She's in Punabi. Manway has failed to pay her dues for several years, and she now owes us over 2,000 septims. Oh my god. Allegedly, she is researching something in Punabi, near Larar Beraloth in Sulipund. If you can convince her to pay the dues, I will split them with you. Otherwise, kill her.
Is there something you need?
Oh my goodness. Oh, jeez. Killing someone just because they didn't pay their money? What is this, America? Alright. Where are we going? Right, we have 3 different things that we need to do. The Andrano, Ancestral Tomb, and then Sulipund. And... Wait, I need to ask for directions. I forgot to ask for directions. Where's Punabi? Okay. That should be logged now.
May I help you?
Okay. And then... Sulipund. Great. I can't believe I forgot to ask for directions. I always remember to ask for directions when I'm playing Morrowind, but not this time. Of course not. Why? Because I hit the record button. Well done, Shale. It is what it is. Yes, errand. Tomb is south of Pelagiad, just off the road. Just before you reach the fork where the road goes southwest towards Sedanin and southeast toward Vivek. You may need an enchanted blade. Some spirits are immune to normal weapons. Here, take this old short sword, and maybe these old scrolls will come in handy. South of Pelagiad, got it. Actually, what I can do is instead of using that thing they just gave me, I'm going to enchant my own weapon. Nope. How do I make an enchanted item? Iron Claymore. Let's have it paralyze. For 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay. Of paralyzing. Of course. Of course. Of course. All right. Lovely. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. You didn't see this. You didn't see this. You didn't see this. It is not something that actually happened. Okay? All right. Wonderful. Glad we understand each other. Paralyzing on target. Or should it be on... No, it has to be on target, right? That's how that works. Fuck. 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 Well, I mean, the chance is pretty low, Shale. Maybe you should, Maybe you should reassess your expectations of enchantment. Let's try target. Magnitude 8. There we go! Look at that. Literally exactly the same, except it's a blade that I can actually use because she uses claymores or two-handed swords. So we're going for a bit of an interesting build here. Two-handed weapons, light armor. Oh. Not my usual. I think I did this actually because it's the inverse of what I had in Skyrim with Amonera, because she has the sword and shield and heavy armor. The Indrela has the light armor and two-handed weapon. Who only knows what would happen if I decided to play Oblivion. Not that you should hold your breath for that one. No, I say that, but really, I haven't played Oblivion in years. It's that game for me, you know. There are some people they play Morrowind and they play Oblivion and then they hate Skyrim, and there are people who play Oblivion and they play Skyrim and they hate Morrowind, and I'm one of those people who I love Morrowind and I love Skyrim, but Oblivion, no, can't do it. I don't know why, because it's funny. It's the first Elder Scrolls game I ever played. It's the very first one, and now I like it the least out of all of them, even though it has the most nostalgia. Yep, the most nostalgic nostalgia for me. I never touch it, and I don't know if I ever will. You know, someone said to me recently, it would be interesting because, you know, I talk about my, I talk about the fact that I make videos sometimes, and someone said to me, you know, it would be interesting if you did a playthrough of Oblivion and you just tried to find the fun in it, and you tried to find a way to tap into that old love that you had for the game while you're recording it. And while I'm not sure I'd ever do that, that did get me thinking about something, which is kind of going to be the thing that I talk about, I think, for a little bit here. And that is trying to find the joy in the things that you do, even if the joy is not necessarily at the surface level. Welcome to Morrowind, everybody, the series where Shale gets philosophical in between action moments. But seriously, that's what's going to be happening here. I do this pretty frequently, I find, when I'm playing Morrowind. I get much more philosophical and wax poetic than when I'm playing Skyrim, for example. Oh, come on. Come on. All right. You get the touch. You get the touch. Just a minute. Thank you. Silly little Nyx hound. But I do this quite frequently. I get a little bit more nostalgic and philosophical when I play Morrowind, and I don't know why that is. It's probably because of how much of a slower game it is. It makes you think more. Not to mention there's more time to fill from beat to beat as compared to Skyrim. I don't have a companion to bounce off of here, for example. I don't have I could comment on this rat right now, but I don't think any of us would be particularly entertained if I just kept yapping about how bad I want to hit that rat, for example. Anyway, going back to my point. There's something to be said for doing things that, at first glance, do not seem like they are particularly worth doing, or that you can't see the immediate benefit in. But that in the long term, after a lot of struggling with it, might give you a newfound appreciation for other things. And I've thought about this quite a bit recently, as I've mentioned in other fora. I'm a graduate student currently, and there's a lot of baggage that goes with that. For example, it's very expensive, for one thing, to be a graduate student, especially if you're not currently on PhD track, like I'm not yet, work in progress. But it's very expensive. It's a lot of work. It's cutting into all the time that you could be spending doing other fruitful things. And it gets in the way of doing things with people. Not unlike the work culture that is, well, in the world right now. I would say my country of origin, America, the US, but it's kind of a global thing now, isn't it? Where the things that you need to do, or they just chip into all the time that you wish you had for other people. And how does this tie back into what I was saying? It ties back in because with something like what I'm doing, or with the example of Oblivion, right? Playing it even though I don't necessarily think I'd enjoy it, and trying to find the joy in it as you turn it into something, I think is something that a lot of people don't do nowadays, right? They don't go out of their way to make something. I've been thinking about this since, I think it was last episode, I talked a lot about art for art's sake, and it's kind of a sister point to that, in that not only do people not do art for art's sake, but they don't do things for things' sake anymore. They don't try to do things now for the benefits they might get later. There's much more of a focus on instant gratification. And before you betide me with comments such as, oh well, Shale, people have been saying that since time immemorial, you're not saying anything new, I think there is something to be said about it now, in particular because of things like AI and the attention span culture that we have fallen into in YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and TikTok and all these other places, right? Think about it. I'm 26, right? I'm relatively young still. And I remember when I was a kid, things were much less high stimulation. YouTube videos were infinitely less high stimulation. The highest stimulation I remember as a kid watching were people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie when they were doing their horror Let's Plays, right? That was high energy, and even then it was long form content with someone just commentating over a game. Now, long form content is a 10-minute video, and the average time content is 15 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Old school hour-long videos, if it's not by an already established creator, they've kind of become niche. Like this one, for example. Hello, I'm talking about me. Right? They're niche now. They don't really get people interested in them. They just get shoved away by the algorithm. And I think that's a very, very sad state of content and art and media that you don't get that personal long-form content anymore. At the very least, when you do get it, it isn't pushed to you. You have to go looking for it. I would be interested in the comments, actually, if those of you who have stumbled on this video and are still watching it this long are willing to leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. How did you find this video? How did you get here? Was it recommended to you? Did you look up Morrowind and then it showed up in your search feed? Did you... you see, I'm interested in that, because I bet most people looked for something like this. Or in some way they're already Elder Scrolls adjacent, and thus they get things like this shoveled towards them. But the kind of intentionality that I'm talking about, with doing things for the sake of doing things, watching things for the sake of watching things, rather than just to turn something on while you eat, or shit, I'm looking at you, they've been lost. Because even back in the day, you had to look up videos that you wanted to see. Sure, there was a front page, but it's not like it was highly algorithmatized. It was quite general, and it didn't have a lot of personalization. That came much later, and you'd have to go looking for the niche subsets of things that you wanted to see. We don't really have that anymore. Or we get a lot of things that get recommended to us, or that get thrown our way by computers and algorithms and now AI. And we don't, and I've caught myself doing this, right? So it's not like I'm preaching to people and saying, oh, you don't do this, but I do this too, right? I'm just as guilty. I try not to be so much, but, you know, who amongst us? We don't go out and do the things, or look for the things, or think about the things, or talk about the things that we want to do, so much as we just let things float by us, and then we grab them. And this YouTube series, along with... Nope, don't want to level up yet. Nope. This YouTube series, along with... oh, we're at the Andrano Ancestral Tomb. Look at that. There we go. Along with my channel, is kind of an attempt to fight that. It's an exercise for me in intentionality, as it were. Oh, I remember this place. We noped out of here before because we didn't think that we could fight the things in here. Hopefully that's changed. There we go. And I'm trying very hard when I make these videos to be intentional about the things I do and the things I say, and to not just kind of develop a rote by numbers attitude towards it. Ah, shit. That's what I was trying to avoid. Oh. It's a temporary one. Good. Lovely. That temporary? That's temporary too. Ow! But I try not to just do a rote by numbers, oh, this is the thing I'm doing now. You know? Oh, fuck me. Get out of here. I need to level up my intelligence. Thank you. Oops, bumped the mic. Like, when I do Skyrim, I try very, very hard, even though it's kind of the only thing I upload on my channel, or has been the past little while, to not just get into the habit of going, oh, well, I need to upload another video. Time to hit the record button. I try instead to go, do I want to do this? Yes. Do I have something, do I have something that I want to say or do while doing this? Yes. Do I have a set goal or or interest that I want to advance by doing this? Yes, and then I hit record. It's like I said, an exercise in intentionality. And Morrowind is also like that. A big reason that I don't record as much, maybe, as I do Skyrim, is because my intentions when I hit the record button for Morrowind are different. I'm not just looking to, roleplay as the character when I'm in Morrowind. Though I do, from time to time, as we know, roleplay as Indrela. It's not nearly as much as I do when I'm playing Amunera, where some episodes are almost entirely in character. I can go an hour or more without ever speaking as Shale. I'm Amunera, I'm the Dragonborn, and telling a story in character. But in Morrowind, I try to be less, and I'm doing that a bit in Skyrim now too. I'm trying to be less chronically in character, as it were. Uh-oh. Good dodge. I'm trying to be less chronically in character, and I don't use the word chronically in a negative connotation there. I use it in its literal sense as all the time, right? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be in character all the time. As a matter of fact, I think it's a very fun thing. It's a unique thing that makes my roleplay stand out compared to maybe some others that people have watched. I know I've had the very, very flattering comparison that I remind some people of Sorcerer Dave or some other Elder Scrolls YouTubers, and there is some shared DNA there, of course. But I think that my intentional attempt to always be in character makes it a bit unique, and that's something that goes into making the decision of, yes, I'm going to record right now, is, do I want to continue that vibe, that idea of a roleplay set primarily in character, focused on comedy and on little bits and on drama. And then for Morrowind, it's much more... Do I have something I want to talk about? Right? It's much more... Do I, Shale, have something that I want to talk about on YouTube? Do I have something that I want to share with people? Do I have an idea that needs exercising? Do I have a thought that I can't get out of my head that I just wanted an avenue to talk about? And as you can tell by the fact that I've been talking for 30 minutes or so, and kind of playing the game on autopilot, the Skull of Lavul, Andrano, there we go. And a dagger. Lovely. Got what I came for. But as you can tell from the fact that I've been able to do this for a while now, I do, in fact, have something I want to talk about. The Homilies of Blessed Almalexia, thank you, and a cloth sack with a bunch of ingredients in it, which I can use for potions later. Good, good. Heal up there. Very nice. And going back to the initial point, I think that kind of mindset is something that we could all do with doing a bit more of. You know, and again, I don't want it to sound like I'm preaching here, because I'm not trying to. I'm talking. I'm just filling the air. I'm saying things that I think are interesting to say. Where the fuck did you come from, buddy? Hang on a second. I need to need to actually think about this, because I didn't. All right. Now. All right. Come on. Ow. There we go. That was a bone walker. That was an honest... Where'd he come from? Where did he... There was no context for him. He just got dropped in. All right, fine. Sure. Whatever. Great. wonderful. And it's something that I would encourage you folks at home to think about, right? I know that right now life is, well, like that. And I think it's something like that for just about everybody right now. I think something that's important to remember and that kind of gets swept away, especially on the internet, is how interconnected most people are with how the world is right now and the way that we're feeling, and forgetting or remembering that, no, the way that you're feeling is normal, and most people probably feel that way too, and it's important to recognize that, but then also to be intentional in finding joy in the things that you want to do, or finding hope in the things that you don't want to do, but that maybe one day will have a good impact on your life. Using myself as an example again, that's, my education. I'm going for a higher degree so that one day maybe I can get a job teaching or doing something like that, because that's what I'm passionate about. Right now, it sucks because I have to do all this stuff and go through all this rigmarole, but hopefully one day it won't be like that. All right, now it's time to go back, because we have to cycle back around, go across the bridge like we did for the Dwemer Ruin, and then we get to Punabi and the other place. Let's actually look here in the alchemy lab if there's anything that we can make, just to lighten our pack a little bit. See if we can condense any of these ingredients. I'm betting the answer is going to be yes. Fuck. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Nothing there. Nope. 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 Nothing, really? I have so much of everything. Wait. Can I? Are you fucking kidding me? I can do the scroll. I can scroll. Wait. What? I didn't know that. Now I know that, but I didn't before. But yeah, you do the things in the hopes that maybe one day it's better. It's getting you somewhere that you want to get to, rather than just doing it for the motions. And also not doing it because you think that there's some kind of monetary gain to it, right? I think that's another thing. This is going to be the direction of the conversation now, or the thought. So, but I feel like, again, tying it back to the point that I made last video about art for art's sake and not doing it just for monetary gain, I think it's also important to not put monetary value on all the things that we do in life, right? Because so much of our life is money now. It's, oh, I have to go to the store and buy food. Oh, I have to go to the gas station and buy gas. I have to go to the train station and buy a train ticket so that I can get where I need to go, and so on and so on and so on. And then, of course, the big elephant of the room is, oh, I need to go to work so that I can have money so I can buy those things and exist in society. And so there's this very reasonable predilection in the modern day to go, well, money is kind of everything. It's you should view everything in terms of money, because if you aren't making money, you're behind the people who are making money. Right? There's an idea that if you don't push yourself every waking hour to be money efficient, then your life is in some way inefficient. And I know that's not true for everyone, and I don't want people to think that I'm saying that it is true for everyone, but this is something that I have observed routinely, and something that, quite literally, the literature that I read as a graduate student agrees with. This is a genuinely well-documented academic thing that's happening right now, and that has happened over the past 100 or so years. This isn't something that I'm just saying without source. This is something that is traceable, is seeable in trends. And I think that there's a lot of real danger there, and real capacity for harm, if all we do every time we do something is think how much money we're going to be making as a result of it. Like, for example, if I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be recording this video right now. This video is not going to make me any money. This video is not going to get nearly enough views for me to even see a few pennies. And that's fine. That's okay. That's the idea. That's what it's here for. I'm not here for it to make me money. I'm here to make something that I think I would watch if I were a viewer. And that's what I'm doing. I have a relatively decent setup for my recording and my audio, the audio taking precedence over video in many cases, because I know that a lot of people, myself included, like to listen to their videos more than actually watch them. And I respect that, and I understand that, and that's kind of tying back to the attention culture thing, but at the same time, we only have 24 hours in every day, so I'm not going to harp on that one too much. But, you know, I invested in these things. If you wanted to be overly critical about it, you could argue that I have been operating on a net loss financially in my desire to make YouTube videos. In my desire to create things, I have been spending more than I have been making. And tying that back to the conversation about monetizing everything, to the person who does monetize everything, that would be perceived as an abject failure, as something to be avoided. But that's not really how humans work, is it? Right? You wouldn't tell a painter that because they bought art supplies and then they chose not to sell their painting, that they shouldn't have painted the painting in the first place, would you? I suppose some people might, but I don't think I'd want to talk to those people. I don't think I'd want to be around them. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that, yeah, maybe someone would, but if they did say that, I wouldn't be around to hear it. If you met a musician and they bought an instrument and they invested all the time it takes to learn the instrument, but then they never went out and performed professionally, they just did it for the joy of making music, you wouldn't go, oh, well, you've wasted your time, would you? You would find meaning in the creation and the doing of the thing itself rather than in any kind of monetary outcome of the thing in question. And where am I going with this? The intentionality of doing those things, of trying to do things and enjoy them and make them and do them without worrying about money, is, I think, very naturally human. But we aren't told that very much anymore, are we, folks? We kind of have to remind ourselves of that. And, you know, that's what I'm talking about today. That's what we're going through as we walk from point A to point B, from the Andrano family tomb all the way over here to Punabi, if we can find it, to fill the void of Morrowind's constant 90% walking simulator status. Don't worry, as we get further into the game, I'm sure that it will get more action-packed. It's just a fact of the early game of Morrowind that you have to wander a lot and get lost and figure things out. And if you're a content creator, especially in the year of our Lord 2026, you have to find a way to fill that gap. Right? Oh no. Oh good heavens. Thank goodness. I really thought I was a bit porked there. I thought it was gonna get me. You really just have to find a way to fill the time. And this is how I've decided to fill my time, is by talking about intentionality. And talking about doing things for the sake of doing them rather than because you think you're going to gain something from it. Take for example, right? Oh, hang on. I have another thing for this. Another thing is that kind of a double whammy to monetization is the fear of looking foolish or looking silly when someone makes something. I think that's very important to talk about as well when it comes to the monetization aspect, because it kind of goes hand in hand. Is very frequently people do not do things that they otherwise would because they're afraid it'll make them look foolish, it'll make them look silly, stupid, so on and so forth. As if being good at the thing that you're doing is the be-all, end-all, most important prerequisite. Let's use me as an example again, right? Because when I'm using negatives, I find it much more comfortable to use myself as an example to soften the blow, as it were, to make it seem less academic and make it sound more personal. Not before anyone, if anyone is thinking of defending my honor in my comments. Don't worry, I'm well aware of that I'm doing an okay job. But let's take my commentary, for example, right? I have no experience other than these videos of commentating over things. I don't. I mean, I've talked to myself, right? And that's basically all that I'm doing, again, is talking to myself. But I've never had any other experience other than what I'm doing right now. And there's no easy way of quantifying or qualifying whether or not what I'm doing is good, is good quality. But that doesn't stop me. I don't do the things and go, oh shoot, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or I should have talked this way, or should have thought that thing. I do it when it comes to my audio and video quality, of course, but that's because part of the push in making these videos is challenging myself to get better at those things. Only recently I've figured out how to improve slightly the quality of my videos to avoid some of the graininess and artifacting, and I've been doing this for 2 years. Almost. Oh my god. Holy shit. I've been doing this for over a year. Let's say that. That's more comfortable. I like that more. I've been doing this for over a year, and I've only just now figured out how to do that. And it was so obvious, right? It's almost a little bit embarrassing that I didn't know how to do it. But I figured it out, and that excited me when I figured out how to do it, because I didn't know how to do it before. This isn't either of the places I need to be, and I think I know what's in there, so I'm going to avoid it. But that was a great experience. And I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have learned how to do that if I hadn't at first recorded and uploaded videos that were bad quality, that were artifacted or low texture or so on and so on. I couldn't get better at it if I didn't do the bad things. But there is a mindset in many people that if you can't skip to the part of making things where you're really good at it, you shouldn't do the part where you're bad at it. Or, at the very least, no one should see you while you're bad at it. And I think that's very bad and is a byproduct of the monetization aspect is that if you embarrass yourself, you have less of a chance of return customers, right? If you look foolish, you have less of a chance of people going, "Oh, I want to watch that. Oh, I want to buy that." You're incentivized to make everything look professional quality from the beginning, or to not do it at all. And that's intentional, I think, in the internet and market culture that we have right now, is that kind of aversion towards, I think apprenticeship is a good word here. The aversion towards apprenticeship learning is intentional, and is kind of emblematic most in AI, right? Where we offload. Come on, Cliff Racer. I'm trying to think here, and you're making it really hard for me. Where we offload the awkward, ugly duckling years of doing work, of being bad at it, or just not good at it, and we put it in an algorithm and say, get me to the part where I look at least passable. Don't let anyone see my bad side. Don't let anyone see the parts that I'm not good at. Only have people see this artificial facsimile of things that I think I should be good at, and nothing else. And that sucks. That is not only bad, but like I said, I think it's dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I don't mean dangerous in the, oh, you could kill somebody with that, though I do think that too. And there are, my field, not to put too fine a point on it, but just so that there's some context here, I work with environmental stuff, and I won't get more specific than that. But there are arguments to be had that AI is very bad for the environment, and it is. Let's not beat around the bush here. It is very bad for the environment. AI is just bad all around the board, and I don't really think that there are... I'm talking about generative AI here, by the way. I'm not talking about any other kind of AI. I'm talking about generative. You know, like ChatGPT or Gemini or any other thing you could think of that is like generative AI, like image generators, video generators, music generators, so on and so forth. They're very, very bad. But not just for the environment, but also for creativity. And to preempt the points of, oh, but it helps me think. Oh, but it helps me craft the ideas. It doesn't. It doesn't help you. You think it helps you, but it genuinely doesn't. It makes it painless, which many people think makes the creative process easier, right? They think that if it's painless, if it's quick, if it's intuitive, then it's better. And now we're gonna put a nice hat on the entire conversation, right? This is where it's all been coming to, okay? The dream of very easy, low access or low barrier effort to art, to creation, to doing anything is a myth. It doesn't happen. You need the struggle. You genuinely, your brain needs to struggle to learn the thing that you're doing. It needs to have a hard time pushing itself to learn the thing that you're trying to learn in order to learn it. You can't just have something give you an idea and then you expand on it. That's like lifting weights starting from a super steroided person helping you with your reps when they're at like 100 pounds, and then every pump, that super roided bodybuilder takes 20 pounds off and then only lets you do it yourself once it weighs 5 pounds. You can't... that was the wrong thing to drink, but that's okay, because I'll spend my magic. Wait. You can't just do the part of creativity, of creation, of making, of doing from the position of already having the ideas given to you. You have to come up with the ideas. That's 90% of the effort. And if we just let the market decide what we want to make, if we just let the vibes decide what we want to make, the opinions of others what we want to make, the algorithms of machines what we want to make, then we aren't really making anything, are we? We're just doing what we've been told we should do. It's the abdication of creativity and instead conforming. We're trading our critical faculties, our artistic faculties, our capabilities for a facsimile of cohesion, of uniformity, of professionalism, shall we say. I think professionalism sums it up right. We're more interested in looking professional, our output looking professional, our things that we do being professional than being genuine. You know, I suppose most... how do I say this? See, this is a perfect example of it in motion, right? I haven't pre-planned what I'm saying here. I'm saying this because it's something that I've been thinking about and something I want to say, but I don't exactly have the words that I want to use to say it because I haven't said them yet. But you need to figure out how to learn how to say the things you want to say. And right now, right here, you could say, well, Shale, you probably could have made this point more concise. Yes, I could have, probably. But I don't know how. So I'm saying it this way. And I am confident enough in my own ability as a creator, as someone who has something to say it in an imperfect way. To say it and do it in a way that is, at the very least, authentic. Right? It might not be completely professional. I've probably upset some people with the things that I've said so far. I've probably said something that someone doesn't agree with and they've gone, oh, well, I hate them now. That's fine. That's okay. But I have said them, and I do believe them. And that intentionality is what this whole episode's conversation has kind of been about. The intentionality to do the things that you want to do the things that you think are worth doing without necessarily investing yourself in the zeitgeist, in the profitability, in the harmlessness of it. Like, I right now, I'm not worried about losing money over Mirandus. Is that where I need to go? No, I need to go Punabi. Across the door, go past the dormer and follow the winding trail east until you reach a lake. You'll see Mirandus to your south. Okay, I am on the right way. Finally. I'm not worried about losing a brand deal by saying this. I'm not worried about losing subscribers over this. I'm not worried about anything you could put there, because I'm just doing this for the art of it, for the sake of doing it. And you should too. You should do that kind of thing too. You should find the things that you enjoy doing, whether it's painting or woodworking. Oh, yeah, I recently learned how to make a fire. I've never made a fire in real life before. I never, made a campfire, lit a fireplace, that sort of thing. I went out of my way to learn how to do that. Why did I learn how to do that? Because I wanted to. Because I didn't know how to do it. The only reason I did that was because I wanted to learn how to do it. I didn't have any interest in making money off of it. I just wanted to learn how to do something with my hands that is very, very human to do. So I did it. And that is something that you should do too. If you don't already think that way, maybe this gives you something to think about. A different perspective of how to think about things. If you're one of those people maybe that does get caught up in the monetization of everything, that's fine. You shouldn't feel ashamed. You're quite literally being told that is how your life should be led. But it shouldn't be the only way that your life is led. It shouldn't be the be-all, end-all. You should find the things that maybe aren't necessarily profitable, but that give you joy. That you can do and feel proud of you doing them without necessarily worrying about your bank account updating after the fact. And that's really, really easy to say if you aren't day to day worrying about that bank account going red, right? And I get that, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. But I would stand by the fact that even if it were in danger of going red, you should still think like this. You should. It's just better for your brain. And if your brain is healthier, you're able to tackle the really important things more effectively. You can. Even if it seems counterintuitive to go, oh, well, I need to think about these. It is still better to think of it that way than to constantly be thinking about things in terms of money. Take her, for example, Manwë. She hasn't paid her guild dues in several years, and she's still doing just fine. But you do need to pay them, eventually. I left the Mages Guild and dedicated my life to studying the adaptive responses of quaternary variations in Oblivion streams. If Ranus Atheris wants the dues that much, why don't you just pay them yourself? I am unconcerned with petty financial matters. Manwë suggested I pay the gold myself. I wonder if I can persuade you. Let's try. See if we can get this. I saw it light up when I got her over 60. We're gonna be... We might be spending some time here. As I press through the persuasion 12 different times, and she just says stop every time. Which, you can... It's a free country. I can keep talking, right? I can just... unless she decides to kill me. That would be bad. But if she doesn't decide to kill me, I'll just keep pressing these buttons. And by the way, this is unironically how you level persuasion in Morrowind. This is what you do. You just keep mashing the button and hope and pray that you can get there. But the lower you are, the harder this is, and the longer you have to sit here. And it used to be in, I think, my very, 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 very first playthrough, which I have unprivated, and you can view on my YouTube channel, with Dralin Valoran, I believe, was the name of the character, and I did that for a while. But in that, I used to cut this out. I used to just cut out all of this mess. And how much Shale has changed in the years since that rather than cutting it out because I was worried that I couldn't fill the time, that I couldn't make this entertaining, where literally all I'm doing right now, genuinely, is I'm sitting at my desk. It's getting dark outside. I'm sitting at my desk. I haven't turned on any lights. I'm sitting at my desk and I'm just mashing the enter key. That is all I'm doing. And it used to be that I would cut this out. But now, I'm trying to find a way to make it entertaining. And what's more is that because I've been doing this for a while now, because I trust myself, because I have some confidence in my craft now, and because I've gone through the stages of feeling quite silly about the things that I do, I think I'm managing. I think I've got at least maybe one person. I'm comfortable saying I've got at least one person. If there's one view on this video, I know you got me. There's at least one person who hasn't skipped to the end of this segment. There is one person at the very least that has not yet found what I'm doing repetitive. That they see the point that I am making and have been making for this episode in motion right now. That I am trying to practice what I preach, and not only do they appreciate it, but they are actively watching and thinking, my God, how is this gonna end? Because it looks like Manwë's got him on the ropes, right? It looks like Manwë is never, ever, ever going to budge. That persuasion tick is always going to be 0 out of 100, and there's nothing we can do. Shale is going to have to keep improvising again and again and again, keep trying to find different things to say, to pass the time, to make it interesting, as this just keeps getting longer. And my God, how is Shale going to manage it? How is Shale going to keep going? Well, I'll tell you how Shale's going to keep going now. Shale's going to reload. Hey, Manwë. Gildews? Will you leave me alone if I give you the 2,000 septims? I cannot leave my research unattended. Yes. Here, take the gold and leave me to my work. I would advise that you leave here now. We are engaged in very serious research here, and if you disturb my colleagues, they may not be very understanding.
May I help you?
Lovely. Thank you. And that, my friends, is how Shale got out of that predicament. All right. Who's the last guy? Larar Beraloth, which is just up here, I believe. That is the idea. That is the yep, there it is. And we're just gonna walk right in, talk to the Telvanni, say, you should join the Mages Guild. And if he says, nuh-uh-uh, we're gonna just do that again. That's what we're gonna do, again. And we're gonna hope that, we're gonna trust. Is that? Hang on. Yeah. I thought so. You just can't see it. Bethesda. Anyway, maybe that's not Bethesda, maybe that's a mod. I doubt it, though. I think that probably is Bethesda, just letting it clip. That's fine. Can't really tell. Hello? LeVar Burton? LeVar Burton? Is he in here? I hope so. Well, do I hope so? I think it would be cool. I think it would be interesting to meet LeVar Burton. But I don't think he's in Morrowind. Just an NPC shows up with LeVar Burton as the voice actor. The Reading Rainbow theme plays in the background the whole time he's on screen. That would be good. That would be funny. Excuse me, Nail.
Someone else to bother.
I rest. And we confer with the Telvanni. I don't know you. What do you want? Do I look like a fool? Collect your dues from someone else. Or at least give me a reason to listen to your dribble. Well, since you asked nicely. Do I need to get it to 60? Alright, I'm going to save.
What do you want?
There we go. If I agree to join, will you leave me to my research? Fine, fine. I will join the Mages Guild next time I'm in Balmora. And there we go. We convinced both of them. One to pay her dues, and the other to join the Mages Guild. Now, let's do... Ooh, will this... Divine Intervention. Will this take me where I want to go? It sure will. Lovely stuff. It's exactly what I wanted it to do.
Yes?
Yes? I was worried that maybe it would take me to Molag Mar, but I think that that would only happen if I had done Elmsievi Intervention, because I think that takes you to the Tribunal Temple in Molag Mar. I'm not sure, though. For all I know, it could have taken me to Balmora. You know what? Let's try it. Let's have some fun. Elmsievi. Ah! Whoa! I was clearly wrong. Well... Now I know. That's reassuring. I thought that it would absolutely take me to a place that I didn't want to be, but no, it took me exactly where I wanted to go. Wouldn't have known that if I hadn't decided, why not just experiment with it, give it a good old college try, a good old test. And I think we could split the dues with what's her name? Wait a minute. Where am I lost? I was lost. I thought that I needed to go over there. Nope, I need to be right here. Okay. Then here I shall go. Sometimes you just gotta get lost to figure something out, right? You've got to try, and you've got to go the wrong way, and tack on another minute of commentary onto the things that you were already doing. Hello, Ranis! Yes. Good work, Indrela. Maybe he'll give us some info on the Telvanni. I suppose I should go find something to give you for your efforts here. Take these spare potions. And did you get Manwe's guild dues? Yes. Good work, Indrela. You are the first journeyman to get Manwe to pay her dues. I knew I could rely on you. Duties? An Argoni of the South Wall Corner Club is offering training and restoration without the sanction of the guild. I want someone to stop it. I have word that an Argonian has offered training and restoration of the South Wall Corner Club. This Argonian, whoever he is, does not have the sanction of the Mages Guild. Convince him to stop. How about advancement? I haven't completed enough duties.
Welcome, Outlander.
I see. Well then, my friends, it has been an hour. And so, I think that as Indrela sets out to find this Argonian, that is where we shall leave it for today. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.